Chapter 5: The Empire of Perception. How is society shaped? The most effortless and cost-effective way to manage the masses is not to cover up the truth, but to radically alter the perception of that truth. This perception is permanently constructed on the loom of education, within the vice of economic conditions, and through the stitches of personal experiences and cultural fabric. For centuries, the ruling powers have registered their long-standing mechanisms of domination into memory of humanity under the mask of Hammurabi, Greek, and Roman law. That top-down structure, once carved into the stone of yesterday, stands before us today as the cold and rigid algorithms of artificial intelligence. Unless humanity tears down the walls of these custom-made laws, erected solely to preserve illicit gains, it will never attain the light of free thought. For the powerful, submissive masses fermented with a culture of allegiance are always more useful than questioning minds that use intellect as their compass. It is for this reason that societies are guided by being imprisoned within the narrow molds of dogmatic education. When the insidious power of perception merges with the blindness of belief, an unbreakable shield is formed that suffocates contemplation. Shattering this impenetrable armor demands profound knowledge, lived experience, inexhaustible patience, and a will of steel. A jarring tragedy filtering through the dusty pages of history whispers how terrifying a power this shield of belief can turn into. Seleucus, one of the mighty commanders of Alexander the Great, desires a magnificent monument to reflect his grandeur. The ruthless chief sculptor under his command puts not only his team, but also his own 7 biological sons to work for this cause, sweating under relentless conditions. Rebelling against this cruelty, the 7 brothers shatter the statues of the gods their father worships and vanish without a trace, aiming to teach their father's arrogance a lesson. Seeing the wreckage of the idols he holds secret, the father loses his mind with the venom of rage. When he cannot find his children, he sets up a cunning and false table of peace. Trusting that table, the 7 sons sit down, only to be ruthlessly poisoned for the sake of their father's diseased belief. It is rumored that the tragedy of these brothers, engraved in historical literature as the 7 bold youths, also gave our current province of Adiyaman its name today. This striking legend lays bare how dogmatic beliefs, fueled by perceptions, create an indestructible and terrifying shield that deafens even the conscience when they come together. Understanding how the laws of exploitation quietly transform humanity into modern slaves is of vital importance. It allows us to realize how the agenda is held captive by games of perception, and how we are all, in fact, the shackled subjects of an invisible empire. We will descend into those bottomless pools of money behind the scenes of the press, academia, and universities, which are used by the shadow architects of politics to manage social perception. In the next chapter, we will together bring to light how the foundations and associations funding these supposedly reputable institutions and the invisible, colossal structures that feed them manipulate our minds. Mehmet Yiğit Agaoğlu.